I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. I'm doing this live instead of recording it because I don't want to hear nobody mouth about how I didn't talk about the episode, okay, since I missed last week's episode 5. So let me see if anyone joins. If not, I'll go ahead and get started with my review so we don't have to hold this up and then I can go to bed because I'm exhausted. So let me see. Hey peeps, I decided to do a little live. I see people are joining now. I decided to do a live so we can talk about the season finale tonight because like I'm shook. I'm just like, I don't know if that's what I was expecting. I don't know if that's what you guys was expecting because you already know how I felt, okay? I felt like Sylvia was the killer. I felt like she was the one who they had an affair with. So I don't know how y'all felt about this, but I'll go ahead and get into my little recap and then we can take some questions and stuff afterwards. But so from last week's episode, we saw that, you know, Grace found the little the hammer in Henry's little violin case. So I was looking shook. She was looking shook. Henry got these big old eyes like, what is happening? He shook as well. And I was just like, you know, if we have learned anything from the Undoing, all of these episodes, you guys, like, we know that whoever they suspect at the end of the episode is going to easily be debunked by the next episode, and it's not going to be that person. So that's why I was just like, it's not Henry. I can't see Henry doing this. I was just like, it has to be Sylvia. That's who I felt that it was the entire time. So okay, so then they having this conversation, right? So obviously Grace is upset, and I was just like, Jonathan, this is how you keep proving over and over and over again how raggedy of a person you are, okay? So basically, Grace tells Henry, like, hey, you need to talk to me. You need to tell me, like, how the heck did this show up here? How do you, like, why do you have this in your possession? And so he was like, I found it in the outdoor fireplace at the beach house. And I was like, oh my goodness, that means Jonathan really did it. And then this dude had the audacity to sit up here and still lie to us after they brought up the fact that that Henry found the dang old thing at the beach house that Jonathan was at before Henry and Grace even showed their raggedy behinds up to the house in the first place. So I'm sitting here confused, like, Jonathan, how are you going to lie yourself out of this? But then I was just like, when he said the husband, we was like, sir, the husband? How does the husband know where your beach house was? Hey, we didn't even know you had a beach house until the second episode at this point. So, so basically he was like, because I used to bring Elena up here, and I was like, what? And then Franklin, old raggedy old behind, gonna get up like, you brought her to my family home? I said, Franklin, what are you finna do? What you about to do, Franklin? Because I was really confused. What are you about to do, sir? Because I was just confused. But I was like, you know what? Even Franklin had to get bucked. And I was just sitting here like, wow, like you just like every time we think you made it to a new low and that you can't go any lower than where you've been at this point in time, like you just hold my beer. You just go even lower. So I was just sitting here like, wow, like he is really trash. At this point in the episode, I was just like, you know what? I just want him to be buried underneath the jail. I don't care if he did it or not. He just needs to go to jail for all of the lies, the deceit that he has been bringing this entire series. I was so confused. So then we see that Haley's like, okay, well, this is a good thing. Maybe we can get the prints off. And I was like, Haley, have you not realized by now that your client is clearly guilty? Like, why are you sitting up here acting like this fool didn't do it at this point? So she was like, okay, we can get the prints off of it. Somehow we can like put it back on the husband, whatever we need to do. So then this is when I was ready for, I was finna like how Franklin got buck with Jonathan. That's how I was finna get buck with Henry. Henry says, you can't get the prints. I said, Henry, why can't we get the Prince Henry? And then he was like, I ran it through the dishwasher. And then Jonathan, like, he was going to beat his behind. I was like, you know what? At this point, beat his ass too. After you get up, beat his ass, and I'm going to let Franklin come beat your ass at the same time. And so, yeah. So I was like, wow, Henry, you just put in the dishwasher? The dishwasher. Okay. So then he said he didn't do it not one time, okay? He did it not once, but twice. He put the stuff in the dishwasher. He ran it through the dishwasher 2 times. I just said, wow, at this point, did you wash it before you even put it in the dishwasher? So I was just sitting here like, I can't even believe that he did that. But he was just like, well, bish. At that point, when I found the little mallet in the first place, I knew your raggedy behind was guilty. So I was trying to help your behind out. Make sure that you don't go to jail, okay? Because not only are you a cheater, okay, a heartbreaker. What is that? What's that song? You a liar, you a cheater, a deceiver, heartbreak. That's how I felt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the random musical interlude, but that's what was just on my heart at that point, okay? So then he was like, I'm trying to say you're raggedy behind because I thought you did it. And I knew if my mama found it, she was going to throw your behind under the bus. She already called the police on you at this point when you showed up. So I was just sitting up here trying to do you a favor. But if Jonathan didn't go low enough, do you know this fool really sat up here and tried to gaslight? I almost said gaslight Nicole Kimmy. He tried to sit up here and gaslight Grace into thinking that her son killed Elena. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Now, for a moment, I was like, well, you know what? I mean, it's just nothing is making sense to me anymore. I entertained it for a moment, but I was like, wow, like, you just gonna sit up here and throw your son under the bus? And even Grace was looking at him like, wow, like, you just gonna blame it on the son? And so then I'm happy that his son cursed him out. He was like, fool, I heard you. I heard you talking that smack. I heard you trying to blame it on me. I don't want nothing to do with you. I even, I don't agree with kids being disrespectful and cursing at their parents. But when he cursed at him, he was like, I effing heard you. I said, tell him, Henry, tell him that you heard him. Okay. So, yeah. So I was really shook at that point. I was just like, I don't even know how crazier that this episode could get. But clearly they were like, hold my beer because we're going to keep going. So we see that this episode, they end up calling Jonathan to the stand. So Jonathan takes the stand and kind of, put his little account. Remember that they said that he had to basically answer to why he fled, how there's been a history of it in order for him to really like try to get off. So I do like that the night before, Franklin's having a conversation with Grace, like, Grace, why can't you just, like, I don't understand why you can't see like this so clearly, like this man is guilty. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna help him get off, and then you're gonna like let him be your husband, let him be a father to Henry, like be like you're really gonna let him be in your life. And I was like, Franklin, even though I still think that you have something to do with this, I was like, tell her, because I'm really confused, like why she thinks that this happy family was about to be a reality, even if he did get off. So we see that she ends up calling Sylvia and asks Sylvia to go take a walk with her. She needs her to do something, okay? So I'm mixing up. Okay, so remember last week, because I just watched last week's episode today. So last week's episode, remember when we found out that his sister, there was no dog, it was his sister that was hit by a car, and that he just wasn't watching her. She died. The mama called and just basically said, like, girl, let me tell you, like, I thought that he was in shock and he just didn't even care. Okay. So I had a feeling like after she called Sylvia, I was like, she has to be telling Sylvia, like, hey, I'm gonna give you some tea. I'm finna give you some tea, Sylvia. And I need you to do what I told you to do with the tea. Like how y'all were saying the bone collector, she was definitely the bone collector. Like she gave all the deets at the beginning, like, oh yeah, sis, I knew he was cheating on you. He got fired 3 months ago. Like all this time, like she knew everything this entire time. I apologize. I'm gonna take a break to say, Sylvia, I thought it was your raggedy behind. I still think that you was smashing. I still think that you was smashing Jonathan, okay? Because you can't tell me. And then that really upset me because it's like, why did you guys bring up that he had an affair with someone else if you wasn't going to tell us who that person was? But I'm here to tell you guys that it was Sylvia, okay? So it is what it is. So So yeah, she asked her to do this favor. So he takes the stand, right? And we find out that, so the lady, the prosecutor, started asking him, like, okay, so what did you do after you smashed her? Like, after you left your semen inside of her, what did you do? And I was really getting upset with the prosecutor, even from last week's episode, because why do you keep showing this picture? Girl, we get it. Her face is unrecognizable. Like, it was too much. I was like, sis, calm down. Like, we get it. You don't need to show it no more. So she asked him, like, hey, what did you do with your clothes afterwards? And he was like, oh, I took it to the cleaners. So I was kind of confused because I don't know if Grace was just imagining what he was doing when she showed him, like, trying to clean his shirt off or whatnot. I wasn't quite sure. Y'all let me know in the comment section, like, was she just imagining that, or is that what actually happened? Like, he was trying to clean this off and then went to the cleaners. I don't know. But I was just like, sorry, so you had the time to go to the cleaners after you killed this lady. Like, oh, let me go home, smash my wife with that same old dirty penis that I put inside of Elena before I killed her. And then let me just go home and smash her with my dirty ping ping. And then I'm just going to go to the cleaners in the morning. And then I'm going to skip down because I killed her. Like, sir, how? Why? Where did you get it? I was really confused by all of this. So essentially, during the cross-examination, I mean, during all of this back and forth with them, like, I guess he did good enough. And so Haley was like, hey, I want to call. And then she paused, and I was like, what is going on with Haley? Like, what happened, girl? Sis, get it together, okay? They're paying you the big bucks for this. So she calls Miguel, and I was like, everybody in the audience like, the daddy looking like, this bitch. But she called him to the stand, and then she started asking these questions about, like, have you heard, your parents fight? Do they do it all the time? Sometimes were they arguing more, before your mother ended up dead? I felt so bad for Miguel. But then I was like, I know you lying, because he was like, sometimes yes. But then when she started getting to the good questions, and he was sitting there like, I don't know. I was like, boy, you sit up here making your daddy look bad at this point. So we see that ends up going good. But then the daddy got upset, and he was like, you are all vile. I was about to say, y'all all raggedy. He didn't call them raggedy. I was calling them raggedy, though. So I was shook. Grace looking all shook. Jonathan, he was trying to console him. I'm like, Jonathan, I need you to learn boundaries, okay? I know you're a sociopath. I know you're a narcissist. Whatever the little title that Grace gave you. I know you cray. But, like, sir, don't try to console this man after y'all done made this little boy cry on the stand talking about his parents. Then I was like, where was the teachers? Where was the headmaster, okay? Because you was sitting up there so worried about what Henry was doing and what class he was in and if he was at the school or not. But y'all didn't take the time to listen to Miguel when he was telling y'all raggedy behinds that his parents were arguing. And what did you do? You did nothing. Nothing. The energy that you was putting up into Henry and what he was doing, where he was at, who he was talking to at school, you should have been doing that for Miguel, okay? Because Miguel is the one who needed the help. So I was just like, wow. So after all of that, then what's that girl name? Grace is in a parachute. Grace is basically like, hey, I want to take the stand. And I was like, girl, since when do you want to take the stand? You haven't wanted to take the stand at one time this entire 6-episode series, and all of a sudden you want to take the stand. So this is when I was like, okay, it's clear that Grace is finna take the stand, and she's gonna stick it to her husband for the trash that he is and that he deserves. And so I was just like, Haley looking like, bitch, I don't trust you, like. And Jonathan said her eating it up like, you want to testify for me? Oh, Grace, thank you. First of all, when you saw how repulsed that she still looked when you tried to hug her after she said she was going to take the stand, sir, that's when you should have known that Grace was up to something, honey. I don't understand how you missed it. Haley was looking like, nah, this bitch ain't right. I know she lying. She up to something. She ain't been telling the truth since episode 1. Haley wasn't with it. But hey, Haley gonna get her check whether you go to jail or not. So she said, fine, do what you're going to do. The trick won't get on the stand. Let her get on the stand. So then we see that she gets on the stand. So this is after she calls Sylvia with the collector and then basically says, sis, I need some stuff I need you to do. Okay. At first, I thought because once they realized about the weapon in the beginning of the episode and Haley was like, hey, I can't tell you guys what to do or not to do with that weapon, I thought that she was calling Sylvia to like get rid of the hammer. That's what I thought she was calling Sylvia about, okay? So she's on the stand and she does everything right. She was just like, yeah, like I would never think that he would hurt anyone. He's never hurt me. Like he is a good person. He wants to help people. I was like, oh, well, dang, I thought you was going to snitch on him about this stuff with his sister, but I guess not. So Haley was looking pleased with herself. Jonathan looking pleased with himself, like he did something. And so I was just like, okay, well, I guess I was wrong again. And I'm going to go back to my whole Sylvia did it theory. So then the prosecutor cross-examines her. And then she bring up the sister. Haley sit up here like, objection, Your Honor. They like, overrule, sit down. And I was just like, ooh, sis, ooh, she making you look bad, sis. So the girl that caught her up at all types of lies that I didn't even see at first, but caught her in every single lie that there is possible is what this prosecutor caught Grace up in, okay? So then she started talking about the mama. Then she talked about how the mama said that he is incapable of suffering. He is incapable of empathy. We thought he was going to get over it. He just did nothing, okay? My man's let his sister die, killed his sister, and went on about his life. And then had the audacity. I'm paraphrasing and adding this on for the mama because this is what the mama should have said, okay? Because after you didn't kill my daughter, your sister, then you had the audacity to sit up in my house until your little raggedy behind turned 18, eating all our food, taking all our money, using all our electricity, our water, our gas, our heat, whatever it was, you're using all of this up. And then after your raggedy behind turns 18, you have the audacity to just hop, skip, and jump up out of my house. Not saying sorry for killing my sister, sorry for killing your daughter, and they had the nerve to cut us off like we were the problem, like we did something wrong. Sir, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed. Now, the mama didn't say all of that, y'all, but I really wanted to speak for the mother because we have to really examine the level of disrespect that Jonathan has done to his mother, to his family, okay? We really needed to talk about that a little bit more. I feel like they just glossed over that, gave us the bombshell, and just went on to the next thing. But we really need to put that into perspective of how, he disrespected his family and why they don't mess with him. So, long story short, totally got off track. But, so after they do all of that, the way Hugh Grant was fantastic in this episode. That scene of when he's just staring at Grace like, Beesh, I know you did this on purpose. Haley all shook, looking crazy, like, I don't know what happened. I was like, my girl finna lose all this money because ain't nobody gonna hire her after he go to jail because of Grace raggedy behind. So what I love is when they get done, right, and she gets off the stand, so he basically says that he tells Haley like she effed us and you let it happen. And she was like, I let it happen? And then when she was like, well, you didn't get rid of the effing, he was like, she was in your camp and you lost Grace when you couldn't get rid of the effing hammer. I said, Haley, drop the Emma effing mic, okay? Drop the mic at that point because if you would have got rid of, baby, if you would have got rid of that hammer, if you should have just cast it in the ocean, throw it, do something. You would have got rid of that hammer, honey. Like, you would have been off. You would have found you a new little side piece to be banging or slanging, on the side. You would have had all of that, Jonathan. You would have had the world, honey. You probably would have got your job back. You would have been living life, but you couldn't get rid of the mother freaking hammer. And you tried to blame my good sis Haley, who was helping your raggedy behind this entire time. I was just like, wow, sir, the audacity. Like, oh my goodness. So let me get a drink in my throat, So after she basically ends up doing the cross-examination, she gets off the stand. Her daddy already got the coat ready, like, oh, bitch, I've been waiting for you to get your mind back. Get your mind right. I'm so happy you leaving this little raggedy man and you sold him to the devil. I'm so happy. He had that coat ready. Baby, he was standing out in the aisle, okay? He didn't even let her get back to her seat. He didn't let her collect her purse, nothing. He didn't even let her collect $200 to pass go. He had that coat ready, took her out, okay? Sylvia ran out because you saw that Jonathan gave her a little side eye as well. So he basically sent him on his way. And so we know that what she told Sylvia to do was she had this conversation where she told her to tell her that she diagnosed him off the record as this narcissist, that he's incapable of empathy, like basically who he is now, like he is totally capable of killing Elena. And so basically that was her way out, because if they would have went another way, you know, they would have implicated Henry. Henry could have went to jail for obstruction of justice. So it was the only way for her to help her son. Which I was like, but Grace, how are you going to work? But I guess it don't matter because your daddy like dumb rich. Because I'm like, who's going to want to see you after you kind of like, it kind of like assassinated like her character as like this psychiatrist, this doctor. But it is what it is. So he sends Henry a text message talking about like, hey son, let's go get breakfast. It's probably the last time we're gonna be able to do it. And then I was like, Lord, he finna take Henry and he finna run with him. He finna run. Now at first, because I saw Defending Jacob, and if you guys haven't watched Defending Jacob, I would definitely tell you to watch Defending Jacob. I thought for a moment that like maybe Henry did do it, and like this was his way of trying to get his son to like do a confession so he could send his son to jail so he can get off. But that's not what ended up happening. So they finally go through the entire sequence of what happened that night between Jonathan and Elena. And so during all of this, you know, they didn't got in the helicopter, Grace and her rich daddy Franklin in the helicopter looking for him. They did an Amber Alert, all this stuff. Okay. So we see that he's talking to her, they have sex, and then she brings up having tea. So the lady, she was a little cuckoo. So she ends up telling him like, oh, I'm having Grace with your wife tomorrow. I think we could really bond. And then that's what set him off, like, stay away from my family, ho. I told you, stop doing that. And then he like banged her head against the wall a couple times because he was like, I will hurt you. She was like, you ain't gonna hurt me. And so he started banging her head against the wall. And I was just like, what kind of relationship is this? And so yeah, so he was like, okay, and I guess she was like, you won't leave me. And then he was like, well, guess what? He threw the keys at her. He's like, I'm leaving you. I left. And he walked out. And so as he was walking out, she grabs the hammer and tries to hit him. And then he catches it. And then he started beating her. I was just like, my good, I was scared of him. I said, nephew Grant, he's up here killing hoes now. And so I was like, that's why Hugh Grant did a really great job this episode, because he really creeped me out. So yeah, so we saw that he actually did it. And then he has his son. I thought that he was about to like run into the train. They almost died so many times. I was just like, he's really gonna kill his son, because I thought he was gonna be on some let me take the one thing that Grace loves more than anything, because she mentioned that she loves her son more than anything in the world. And so I thought he was gonna kill Henry and himself in a car. So so then he ends up going to the bridge. He get out after they almost died 15 million times. Then this fool finna jump off the bridge. I was like, sir, after all of this, you was just gonna commit suicide? Like, what did we do all of this for? So then we see Grace running, Harry, Jonathan, no, Harry. So Jonathan done behind think that she running to get him. And then she realizes that she was only coming to get her son. And then he trying to call her name, like, hey, come here, you guys come here. Like, sir, ain't nobody gonna come to your crazy behind. No. So then the police get him, and then it kind of just goes off. And then I was just like, okay. So this is why, like, I think that Hugh Grant was the best this entire episode. He was fantastic. I loved him. The actress who plays Haley, she was great the entire time. I felt bad that they really messed up my sis bag like that with this raggedy case if Grace knew what she was going to do. But it is what it is. She still got paid. But I just feel like it was a little anticlimactic at the same time. Like, I was on the edge of my seat. But I feel as though that there were a lot of loose ends that weren't tied up. Who was the other woman they had the affair with? What was Sylvia's role in this outside of being a bone collector? Why did we never see the police doing their job? Like, why did, like, we had to Detective Zaddy this entire series, barely saw him doing his job, barely saw him interviewing anyone. We never got to see the police actually do the work. Actually, like, the only thing we saw them do is when they had the search warrant. And there's nothing else that we really got to see them do until Detective Mendoza, aka Detective Zaddy, ended up on, the stand. So I don't know. We never really went into anything deeper with the daddy. We never really went into anything deeper, like the daddy I'm talking about, Elena fine husband. I was like, girl, sis, you got this fine specimen of a husband at home, and you messing with Jonathan all raggedy behind. I was just like, okay, I guess, but yeah. So I think I need to read the book for this one because they did say that this is based on a book, but they say that they actually deviate into they start doing some other stuff outside of the book. So I don't know what the difference would be. I probably will watch it. I mean, read it to see what actually happened on like what happened in the book versus the actual series. But I did enjoy the series overall. I mean, heck, it had us talking every single week. I was ready for the season finale to happen, but I really felt like for the cast that they had, for the talent that they had, I really wish that they would have delved in a little bit deeper into some of these characters, especially for the talent that they had in the series. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, let me look at the comments now. What are you guys thinking about this? So, and then what's gonna happen? So now Miguel daddy got to take care of this baby that's not his. Like, how does that work? Does he sue Grace for child support? How does that work? Somebody let me know, because now he got to raise this baby that's not his. Then he got to have a conversation with the baby that your daddy killed your mama. Oh, and your mama was cheating on me. So what, like, how does this work for all of these characters involved? I'm just really confused about this at this point. So, I don't know. I think they already had this done before COVID. So Carlos said perhaps like this was a COVID production. They had to cut things short. But I think they already had this film before COVID. But I do agree that this would have made for an excellent movie. I think it would have been an excellent movie. I don't know if they felt like they really didn't flesh nothing out. So really in the grand scheme of things, I feel like they could have just put this into a movie instead. And yes, I agree with this. I do wish their characters were used more. And they were really just used as plot devices to help the main characters like get more information out. So I don't know. Now I will agree with this. So food is my friend and food is my friend too, which is why I can't stick to a successful diet. I thought it was pretty smart that they managed to draw the audiences into different directions when it was really Jonathan the whole time. Yes, you're definitely correct, because I thought it was too obvious that it could be Jonathan the entire time. I was just like, it's too obvious. They're like pointing too many things into his direction. So I didn't think that it was him anymore. So I think that it would have been nice if it wasn't Jonathan. And then after Grace took him down and find out who it really was, that definitely would have been cool. So he didn't have no reason to lie, but I'm happy he lied because I got to see his sexy behind again. I think Carlos says, I think Grace's switch to understand was perfection. The way she came off surprised by the cross-examination. Yeah, but I mean, Jonathan completely saw through that. He was just like, I know this, I did this on purpose, but I still love it was just the look that he gave her, like, I know. And she was looking at him like, I know you know, but it's done. So what you gonna do? So, So House says that Jonathan was actually the killer in the book, but Henry was the main suspect. Ooh, I would have liked that better. Because I also felt like the son really wasn't utilized either in the show until the final episode. So I don't think they really utilized Henry either. I wanted it to be Sylvia the whole time. I did think that he was the father of her daughter. But see, Bria, we all thought that Grace was a killer. So I don't know if that would have worked either. The point of having her meet her was she told Sylvia, well, no, remember, she told Sylvia in last week's episode about the conversation that she had with the mother. So she already knew that. But I think this was to give her permission to bring up how she diagnosed him, so she would cross-examine her and bring it up, and then bring up the story about the sister. So she had already told him. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns before I wrap this up? Because your girl is tired. But I think, can you guys let me know in the comment section below, like, do you like these like live reactions? Because it might work easier if I might not, for shows that I don't have the episode to in advance. Do you like this, just being able for me to do like a live reaction to it instead of having to wait for me to upload something so I can just get it out to you real time? Let me know in the comment section, like, what do you think about that? But if he jumped, it would have been too easy. Like, I don't think he could have brought himself to do that. He's too consumed with himself to do that, to take his life like that. Not great to sleeping with Elena. Okay, so you guys do like the live reactions. Okay, I can definitely do this. So like, yeah, so maybe if, you know, I can't just do an episode early enough, I can just do this and then like we're good. So yeah, I'm happy I did this, because when I tell y'all, I was like, if it was up to me to record this and wait for it to download, I would have been in bed asleep. Okay, just letting y'all know. Just letting y'all know. So what other shows are you guys watching? Do you guys have any more questions about tonight's series finale? Do you have any other shows that you guys are watching? You want a secret with Haley character? Who's Haley? Oh, yes. I would definitely watch that. Hugh Grant did do really good. I thought that he did really good. Also, you said a true malignant narcissist would have killed himself. I thought he was going to kill himself in Henry. Like, I thought he was like, well, since she took my life away from me, let me take what she holds most dear to her away from her. So. Waiting for Power. I have not. Is the flight attendant good? What's Water Dancer? I guess the answer is no. What is Water Dancer? What other shows will I be reviewing? You enjoyed the live review. Thank you. Food is my friend. I feel like we could be friends because I love food, just like you love food. It's okay so far. Are there any? Have you guys been watching Industry? I've been trying to tell people that you should really watch Industry. It's a really great show. They actually just uploaded the whole season. I'm not sure if the show is doing well or not, but I would definitely recommend you guys to watch Industry. What else can I tell you guys that I'm watching? I think all the stuff I'm watching is really for interviews. If I did the flight attendant, I don't have the episode, so I would just wait until it's over. I am going to be reviewing A Teacher. I'm going to binge the whole season. I'm just going to do a season review for A Teachers on Hulu. What else? I got Selena coming up. I interviewed the cast of Selena. Okay, so has anyone watched the Saved? But I've watched part of the Saved by the Bell reboot, and I'm a little conflicted. I don't know if I necessarily care for it. You hated the pilot episode of Industry? Oh no, I liked it. New Flight, what am I waiting? I mean, the problem is I see so much before it actually comes out. So, like, I'm waiting to talk about Bridgerton. I'm going to talk about Selena this week. I really want to watch. There's like a ballet show on Netflix. It's like Pretty Little Liars meet Center Stage, and I forgot what it's called. But yeah, I'm going to watch Wonder Woman 1984. Industry is on HBO as well. Perry Mason was actually really good. I am going to be doing some more kind of like throwback reviews and stuff. And I kind of want to start a Throwback Thursday. I was talking with my friend Alex, who he told me to give him credit for this. And we were talking about movies from like the 90s or like early 2000s or 2010s that like are really slept on movies that are really good that people don't talk about. And so I kind of wanted to do a Throwback Thursday for like movies that people didn't talk about, but that were really good. And so I had brought up movies like, if you've ever watched, is it called Brothers? I think it's called Brothers. No, it's called Jarhead, I think. It's the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire and Natalie Portman. It is a good freaking movie that people do not talk about enough. And I think we also talked about Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and Viola Davis, Paul Dano. We were talking about how underrated Paul is. And so I kind of want to do some reviews like that for you guys since we're getting into like there's nothing to watch for real. I have seen Ma Rainey. I will be posting that. I'll post it the week of. I have seen Ma Rainey and Chadwick. That was his best performance ever. Like, it's almost as if he knew that this was going to be his last performance. And when I say that he gave it his all and he left it all on the floor, that's he literally was the best part of that movie. He was that good. So I'm definitely gonna be doing Ma Rainey. Okay, it is Jarhead. And of course, I'm going to be talking about the new Euphoria episode. Duh, come on, you guys. You know me. Yes, I'll be definitely talking about Prestige. Is another great movie, a Christopher Nolan movie, his best movie to me, in my personal opinion. I can't do a review on Hillbilly Elegy. I didn't hate it like everybody else, but I see the issues with it. But yeah, The Nice Guys is also a really great movie with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe that people slept on too. And I feel like I'm gonna have to put The Man from U.N.C.L.E. in there because y'all really disrespected that movie and it should have had a sequel. But no, I haven't seen a Ghost Story. Haven't seen the Snowfall. Yeah, no, I haven't watched Snowfall yet, so don't kill me. Yes, I did see Watchmen from 2019. What's the most beautiful thing? Soulmates. Oh, I love that show. Soulmates is such a great show. Soulmates, Gangs of London, great shows. Yes, I have the episodes. I will be watching it. I need to look and see when embargo lifts for reviews, but I will do the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I did not watch Raised by Wolves yet. Center Stage is my movie, okay? So any more questions? What movies or shows are you guys looking forward to? Yeah, it is Oscar bait, but I guess for me, I'm just like, I just watch movies to watch them. I don't watch it to talk about awards buzz or anything like that. Like, I just watched The Prom today. That's coming on Netflix, I think on the 11th or the 14th. Don't get me the line. I think it's the 11th. And there's already discourse on that. But yeah, I have not watched Versailles on Netflix. So yeah. So, well, if you guys have no other questions, thank you so much for testing out this live reaction thing for The Undoing episode 6, The Bloody Truth. We finally got to the bloody truth. Did we like it? No, but it's okay because you entertained us for 6 weeks and we haven't had a show to really do that for us since Lovecraft. So I'm happy that I had something to look forward to every Sunday to watch. But yeah. I have seen Soul. I will be putting a review out for Soul, and I also interviewed the directors and Jimmy Fox for Soul, so I'll post that interview as well. But yeah, I don't know how I felt about Shutter Island. I remember seeing this in the movie theater, and I was just like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I know I like the twist. But yeah, so I haven't, but I heard this was really good. What's my favorite movie? I have different favorite movies for different things. Like one of my favorite like action is like, for some reason, Gladiator just always, it does it for me, okay? Because it's like a period piece, but then it has the fighting and stuff. And then I love A League of Their Own because I just love that movie so much. Like, then I watch Imitation Life because my mom always made me watch that. She'd be like, don't be disrespectful to your mama. So it's just weird. I don't have like an all-time. I get this question all the time. I don't have an all-time favorite, but I do have movies like if it is on TV, I am going to stop what I'm doing and watch it. So yeah, I have seen Promising Young. So a lot of these movies I actually saw at Sundance. So I've seen Promising Young Woman already. I actually just watched it again last week. So I think the embargo lifts on the 14th, and I'll be posting a review for that. And I actually rewatched Minari today, which I watched at Sundance as well. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff, you know. So a weird comfort movie that I watch is actually this movie called Where the Heart Is. It has Ashley Judd, Natalie Portman. It's a really good movie that I just love. And yeah, I don't know. I just always watch the movie. I can't help it. Oh, okay. I have to take a look at Barbarians. Now, you're right. Haley didn't know that he killed her the whole time. I need to rewatch that. I actually saw that at Sundance, so I would definitely check that out. And I also want to tell you guys like about documentaries to watch. Like I watched the Hot Chocolate Nutcracker this morning. I couldn't sleep. Y'all, I'll get into that afterwards. But yes, I saw Zola. I saw Zola at Sundance. I have been patiently waiting for it to come out, so I can talk to you all about it, about why I loved it, but hasn't come out yet. Because my mother is the preacher's wife. She always watches The Preacher's Wife during Christmas. So yeah, but I'm sorry, you guys, that I haven't had videos up this week. I have been like I didn't realize I was depressed. Like I felt like I had an inkling I was depressed, but like I was still just like, you know, just going out and kind of just trying to just not going out, it's a pandemic, but I was just been going to get something to eat or try like a fun bars like movie cocktails like before they open and stuff. And then I had like, this huge meltdown last night where I was like, okay, Beach, you have literally been depressed, and I guess this was your breaking point. So I apologize that I haven't posted videos. But now that I know that we have this cool feature, and when I'm just having moments of like joy, that I can do stuff like this and give videos out to you guys a lot quicker. So yeah, but I'm definitely going to be reviewing The Reagans, which is something that I saw at AFI Fest. I have seen the Small X films. I've seen Mangrove, which is really fantastic. If you like The Trial of Chicago 7, I would definitely tell you to watch Mangrove. It's even better. Lovers Rock, I've seen Red, White, and Blue, and I think they gave us the last 2 to watch. So those reviews will be coming out as well. So yeah, I like the Hot Chocolate Nutcracker. I thought it was really cute. I didn't know about it, so I love seeing things, watching things that I don't know about. But I definitely want to start doing more documentary reviews because there's a really, really great documentary that I'm going to be talking about. It's a film called Dear Santa that comes out on December 4th. And I like boohoo cried multiple times during that video. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about it, but it's a real program. So there's this program called Operation Santa or Dear Santa that the United States Postal Service does. And essentially, kids from all over the country, they write letters to Santa about what they want for Christmas, and also to their parents, adults who are in need, and they write letters as well. And what you can do is you can go online and you can adopt a letter, and you can basically get the gift and ship it to them. So kids who are in need or adults who are in need, that they can actually get Christmas gifts. And when I tell you I cried multiple times, I was watching because I've had horrible insomnia for the past 2 weeks. So I've been waking up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I was boo-hoo crying the entire time. This movie touched me so much that I have to talk about this movie on like Friday is when it comes out, and is when the program opens up. And I encourage all of you guys to participate. And I really want to like get all of us together and sponsor some kids' Christmases, because I think that it's just so important. I can't believe that I never knew that this thing existed and that they've been doing this for over 100 years. And so I'm going to post that review specifically on December 4th, because that's when the portal actually opens for you to be able to adopt letters. And so I think it'd be really cool if we all like banded together and chose a couple of kids and different families to adopt and give them a great Christmas. So that is what I'm going to be talking about on Friday. But there, yes, I have seen One Night in Miami. I already reviewed it. So yeah, you can watch that now. I'm sending you love and light your way, Ambria. Yeah, depression is real. And I know I talk about it so nonchalantly, but I just like to be transparent with you guys, because sometimes like your story and your trial that you're going through can be a blessing to somebody else, because a lot of times we think that we're the only people who are depressed, we're the only people who are sad. And so that's why I will always tell you guys like, hey, I've been depressed, because like I don't want people to feel like they're the only ones that deal with depression. Yes, it definitely is. Yeah, I can't wait to tell you guys more about this and try to get all of us together. Like I got 30,000 plus followers. If we can get all those followers, and even a fraction of those followers, think of all the thousands of kids' Christmases that we could actually sponsor this year. And I think that will be super, super duper dope. Happy birthday, LG. So yeah, so if you guys don't have any more questions, let me know. Look, I self-cared it up, okay? I cooked Thanksgiving. That wasn't self-care. That was torture. But I did go and eat out to eat and social distance. I go out to eat. When you guys see me post stuff on the gram, I go places when they first open, so there's no one there. And that's how I can still feel like, you know, I've been out, but not around people. So, yeah, that's it. So yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions, I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch my live. I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day to just listen to me talk crazy for a couple of minutes. But I hope everyone has a great rest of their Sunday evening. As I always say, tomorrow starts a new week. Is Monday. Protect your peace, protect your energy. Don't let nobody steal your joy. And I'm going to claim it right now that it's going to be a fantastic, great week for everybody. I haven't watched Fargo yet, but was it good? But I'm going to continue to drink my water so I can have clear skin before the end of 2020, because that's the only goal that I wanted this year was clear skin, okay? And the devil is busy, let me tell you. So I hope everyone has a great night, and until the next time. But I love you guys 3,000, and I really hope that if you guys are going through something, feel free to reach out to me. And I just really hope that that you have healing and joy and peace and everything that you possibly need. So happy almost last day of November. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great night. TT by you. Love you guys. Night.